right, so we're about to talk to two women who took that very same test, that BART test. They are Previvors, and they've never had cancer, but they have a predisposition to develop it. Well, a book out called Previvors is out this week, and it profiles 5 women, all Previvors, and details the life-changing decisions that they have made. 2 of them right now. Joining me from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Rory Clark. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And Suzanne Sister. Good to see you as well.
How
Did I
are
say
you?
that right? Sister. Okay,
Sister.
good. All right, good. Ladies, this is a very difficult road for many to travel, but some might say to see that there is a test that can let them know, especially with a family history of cancer, that this really can be, show kind of the light at the end of the tunnel, or at least give you an idea how to proceed. So there have been some people in the medical community who have called that very radical when they've listened to other women who have taken that kind of preventive measure, that preemptive measure. Is that something that you can empathize with, that you relate to, that you feel like this kind of preventive measure really does give you some freedom? And is it the case that more women in particular are taking this route, or is this still what some medical experts call radical and maybe rare?
Well, they can call whatever they want, but cancer is pretty bad. And if I could take steps to prevent myself from getting it, the information is empowering. I mean, the organization we both met through, FacingOurRisk.org, stands for Facing Our Risk of Cancer Empowered. We have power to change our futures. My mother never had that opportunity. She got breast cancer in the 60s, and they didn't even have chemotherapy then. But I had the BRCA test, I had my mastectomy, which I think is what scares a lot of people and why they think of it as so radical. But plastic surgery has come so far that I look better now than I did before my surgery. And I think if women know that, they would know there's nothing to be afraid of.
But was there some trepidation on your part initially? I mean, did it take you a while to get to that point where you said, okay, my answer is yes, I am going to do this mastectomy right now as a preventive measure?
Not even for a second.
You didn't hesitate?
Nope. It was run, don't walk. I couldn't get into that operating room fast enough because I was nearing the age of my mother's diagnosis. And even though statistically my odds were not very high of being BRCA positive due to my family history, I, on some very primitive level, knew that there was a problem. And so I was actually really pro-surgery. Not everyone is. It isn't for everybody. But I couldn't live with that anxiety anymore. I drove myself crazy every year, every mammogram, and just panic until the next year.
Wow.
Because I was that sure I was going to end up the way my mother ended up.
So Suzanne and Rory, your stories are in this book, Previvors. There are 3 other ladies, Lisa, Mady, and Amy, whose stories are documented in this as well. What do you want people to learn from this first-hand account of being a Previvor?
Don't sit around and wait for somebody to tell you what to do. No one told me to get a BRCA test. I never even knew what a breast MRI was. I should have had that information. And I gave my family history to every physician I ever was examined by, and no one ever told me this. I found out on my own through the internet, and thank God for that, because I don't know if I'd be sitting here right now if I didn't take those steps myself and not wait for somebody to do it for me.
Suzanne Sister and Rory Clark, thanks so much, women, for your courage, for sharing this, and for being the Previvors that you are and sharing your story. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.